And when we bet multis, we bet with Bluebet, the true blue Aussie bookie. Gamble responsibly.
Smart watches make life easy. Smart homes make life easy. Smartphones, well, they make life easy as well. And now, smart pool cleaners make every Aussie pool easy to clean. Deep cleaning, waterline scrubbing, pool scanning for maximum coverage. Smart pool cleaning. Make life easier. Book a demonstration at mydolphin.com.au.
Alright, I think we're live.
Every code has stories to
Come on a little bit earlier because
that go back days
I've never done this before. So
and run deep through culture.
it's all a bit of an experiment.
Stories that show us who we are, what we could be, and how moments, seconds long, can stay with us forever. Every code has these stories to tell. Unlock them with code. Codesports.com.au.
INET NBN bundles are even bundlier. You'll still get scorching speeds, awesome entertainment options, and 24/7 support. But now you can add a huge 120 gig mobile SIM to any INET broadband plan for just $15 a month. It's just one more reason to switch to INET today. Ooh, hang on. Hey, Mom.
So probably, if anyone's watching this back, probably not going to do a lot of talking for a while because there's no one here yet. I might as well wait. We've got quite a while till everything starts, so I just thought I'd come on a bit earlier just to make sure everything's working. It seems to be. I've got my chat on my phone. My phone may go flat. It's only on 19%, but we'll see.
Now's your chance to own a Melbourne Cup dream for just $200. Go to trl.net/dream.
Also, I might not be that loud. It is like, at the moment, it's 10 past 11 at night where I am in Australia. Don't really want to wake up my girlfriend if she is asleep, so don't really want to be too loud. So yeah, I will not be talking that loud. The microphone, it's literally turned up to max on OBS. I can turn it up more on the actual microphone, but I've kind of got that set up as I want it for recording videos, so don't really want to mess with it. So probably just be a bit of quiet stuff until, if anyone joins the chat. I may not get anyone watching the stream, but this is honestly more of just a test than anything else. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Bit of a last minute thing. Literally decided today that I was going to do this, so here I am.
Welcome back. We're about 15 minutes away from the start of the final qualifying of the year here in Abu Dhabi. Seen some frantic work going on Max.
So yeah, you'll probably just see me looking at the screen because I'm watching the broadcast right now, but won't be doing much talking from now onwards, so until qualifying starts. So just in case you're watching this back or people join and just see me sitting here not doing anything, that is why.
As a precaution, we changed the part and you know, checked obviously Checo's car as well.
So Christian, this morning it looked like it was a bit twitchy, the car. It looked like yesterday you had too much understeer for Max. He likes it a bit twitchy. He feels like he's getting the balance, but do you have enough, do you think, to...
Well, we've dropped the wing to try and get somewhere closer on you know, straight line speed, so you can see we're not far off a Monza rear wing now. So that's making it a little bit exciting through the last sector, but it's getting us a little bit closer in 1 and 2, because otherwise I think we just wouldn't be able to race you know, with a delta between the two teams. So you know, Max has been tuning that. Of course, the conditions earlier, you know, when the temperature drops, it changes that balance, so we've been trying to anticipate that for what, you know, will be in Q3.
Christian, on a personal note, I mean, it's the ultimate pressure at the moment. How does that, for you personally, translate? Like, do you struggle with sleeping, or do you start biting your fingernails, or is there something that you can, can you take us through, like, what's going on?
Look, I think, you know, for us this year, this journey has been, you know, so exciting. You know, coming into the season, we never expected to be in a position to challenge for this World Championship, both championships, at this final race. So, yeah, there's an anticipation, there's an excitement. You know, the team have been wonderful this year, not just here trackside, back in the factory. And yeah, look, I think every member of our team is tuned in and will be following every moment.
I have also got a timer. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to sync it up, but hello, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. You are my first proper viewer that isn't me, so welcome. Basically, there's someone here now, so I might as well explain. I've got my predictions up there, which I'll probably talk about a little bit in a few minutes when things get started a bit more. And then on the left, I've got all 20 drivers. Basically what I'm going to do is when people get knocked out, I'm just going to put their names in whatever order they get knocked out in. So whatever order they end up being in after qualifying, basically, for the race. And then I do also have a timer, which I'm going to try and sync up. So basically I'll start that now, just so you can see. There you go. I've literally just done all this today. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to sync that up with the broadcast, but it's worth trying, I guess.
We're talking about pressure.
So
how is that going to transpire? Can they do it on a single lap? Can we do it on a single lap? So
probably won't be talking a lot for the next few minutes because there's nothing really going on yet. So once things get started, there will be more talking. So yeah.
Pre-qualifying, I'm guessing you sat in on the engineering meeting.
6 AM in the morning. Where are you from then? I'm in Australia. It's 11. It's 11:15 now in South Australia.
And he's in a good headspace. You know, he's almost oblivious. I mean, he must be feeling it. He must be feeling that tension. But you know, certainly in all the briefings, the way he's conducted himself, he's usual Max.
Absolutely. Wish the best of luck.
Texas.
Thank you very much for
Okay.
coming out and talking to us, Christian. Best of luck in qualifying. Let's go to Karun at the Skypad to give us some qualifying pointers. Where's this one going to be won and lost, Karun?
Thanks, Simon. I've picked up 4 key corners around this Yas Marina circuit. Turn 5, the reprofiled hairpin here, really important. You've got a big wide entry on the way in, and then you've got the longest straight on the way out. Massively important. We have seen drivers take different lines. That was Lando Norris on quite a conventional
not doing
one
his
there.
analysis.
Turn 9 now. This is the banked double apex left-hander. We saw different lines here. Look at Hamilton going in tight, using a tighter line all the way around. Verstappen carrying understeer, running wide from FP2 yesterday. And in fact, just by having to use that wider line and weight on the front end, he lost a chunk of lap time. So the drivers will.
Yeah, so thankfully for me, this race actually isn't I mean, it's 11:30, but the race is going to be 11:30 tomorrow. But honestly, it's one of the better timed races recently. Like, I think Saudi Arabia last time. I don't think I actually watched Saudi Arabia live. I think it was rather early in the morning. I think I watched Qatar live. I just kind of got up at like 3:30 in the morning, watched it, and then went back to bed. Got up another 2 hours later for work. So this one actually isn't too bad. 11:30 isn't terrible. It's one of the better times for me in Australia.
That puts him out wide. Watch his hands now, struggling for grip with those high rear tire temperatures I mentioned. And I think these are 4 key corners here that you've got to get right in order to nail your qualifying lap.
Great stuff. Right, before we finish up here, let's go back into the pit lane. Ted.
Thank you, Simon. Yes, excitement building down here. The podium, the venue tomorrow for our championship winner. Shortly, the images of the 2 contenders. 3 stories high with loads of screens in front, just welcoming who's going to be there tomorrow. But today, practice is done. Now for qualifying, the first truly competitive session.
Right, the countdown for qualifying has begun. 11 minutes 32 seconds.
It's a blink of your eye that Hamilton was quicker in final practice than the driver at the opposite end of his career.
I think.
Hamilton,
Did Mazepin get a new chassis? He's had it for a couple of races, hasn't he? I think he's had it for a couple of races now. He at least, I think, had it last time out in Saudi, if I'm not mistaken. Mazepin.
Was 7/10 of a second slower than Hamilton in free
I
practice.
don't.
7/10 of a second. Come on, Valtteri.
I don't think. Has Mazepin beat Schumacher Schumacher at all on pace in qualifying this year? Like, I think he's beat him a couple of times when Schumacher's crashed and hasn't been able to do qualifying, but I don't think he's beaten him on pace. He's always been like, honestly, like over a second down on him. It's, I mean, yeah, it's not been great for Mazepin, has it? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. But Schumacher's made his fair share of mistakes in the races, and I mean in practice, you know, crashing. It's not been great for him in that regard, but yeah, Mazepin's been way off the pace. I don't expect anything different here. I mean, I know practice doesn't really have a whole lot of substance to it, but he was quite a way down in the free practice sessions, so I don't really expect him to do anything spectacular.
He seems so zen in himself. These guys.
Right, less than 10 minutes to go.
But the team are
things are getting exciting.
How much of an advantage is that this weekend, being that it's been such a long time since Red Bull did that?
Yeah, I think they've coped really well because they have been under attack from Red Bull. And
I'm interested to see how this is going to go.
It was getting away from them. They've recovered brilliantly, and they look like they've got confidence.
Yeah, I think he does care. I think he cares. I think he definitely cares. But yeah, he just can't get the pace out of it. But this is the funny thing. People are going on about how bad Mazepin is, and when you're up against Schumacher this year, he's been pretty bad. But you think about it in Formula 2, he wasn't that bad in Formula 2. You know, last year, what did he finish, P5 in the standings? Not bad. He had a few race wins in there, I think. So Mazepin isn't a bad driver, but just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Because, I mean, to finish P5 with race wins in F2, you can't be a terrible driver to do that. He's got to at least be somewhat decent, you know? So, yeah, I don't know.
And he messes up, yeah. But anyways, so
he just can't get the hang of the car, or just the F1 car in general. I mean, that Haas seems like it is an absolute dog to drive, but Schumacher is always quicker in qualifying. I say that, you watch, Mazepin will beat Schumacher in quali today. If he does, kudos to him, you know. That would certainly be something to end the series on, end the season on. But yeah,
there is Lewis, /play at the moment. 66% to Hamilton.
F2 Spa 2020, him versus Sonoda. Yeah, he had some good race. I mean, he also had some controversial stuff in F2. You know, I think he had a thing with was it with Jack Aitken and Callum on a lot? I think a few. I mean, I think he had a bit of an issue with Yuki Tsunoda at one point as well. He's had his fair share of controversial things, for sure. But yeah, his driving in F2, his pace wasn't terrible. So, don't know where he is this year. I just don't know. It's so hard to judge with that Haas, though. It really is.
Us Aussies, we're all multilingual. Cole speaks Aussie rules.
Oh, good. Ads. Gotta love ads.
And when we bet multis, we bet with Bluebet, the true blue Aussie bookie.
Gamble responsibly.
Wait, not ready.
What are you doing?
Okay, ready.
I'm a little bit worried that my phone may go flat. Oops, sorry. That was my phone vibrating. If you just heard that. I'm a bit worried my phone may go flat, and that is what I'm looking at the chat on. I can probably switch to my computer, but it's going to be a bit of a pain. I only have one screen, so... I hope that Haas can be at least somewhere to be on the pace at 17th and 18th. What? this race, or you're on about like next season?
They are locked on points, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Absolutely no room for error. Here we go.
Because I think they're a ways off.
Next hour.
Yeah, next year. Yeah, yeah. I really hope Haas are there. I'm not expecting them to be at the top. Definitely not. If they can be in the kind of, yeah, just, yeah, even if they are fighting at the back, but they're actually fighting at the back. You know, at the moment they're literally just on their own. It's kind of like you've got Mercedes and Red Bull at the front, then you've got a bit of a gap. You've got like McLaren, probably McLaren and Ferrari are kind of the next little group, and then, or maybe AlphaTauri somewhat with Gasly, and then you've got, well, I guess AlphaTauri's more with like Alpine, Aston Martin seem to have dropped off the pace a little bit, and then, you know, you've kind of got Alfa Romeo Williams, and then of course Haas are just on their own at the back. So yeah, it's unfortunate. I really want to see Schumacher, especially. I want to see fighting next year, but I'm keen to see what Mazepin can do as well. You know. Yeah, 2018 was a really good season for them, wasn't it? I only started watching F1 last year, but pretty much got into it because of Drive to Survive. Yeah, 2018 was a great season for them, but yeah, it all went downhill from there. Alright, we've got David Crofty on the comms.
For the last 6 races here, for only the second time in Formula 1 history, the Drivers' Championship is tied on points heading into the final race. Max Verstappen ahead by virtue of the fact that he's won one more race. This circuit has been reprofiled. It's got 5.
Alright, so as we're almost ready to go, I will just briefly talk about my predictions. So, I think Hamilton's going to get pole. Mercedes looks stronger here. I did originally have Verstappen on pole though, because I feel like Verstappen really pushes to get pole. Like, he's got pole more than, that was a firework or something outside. Oh, you can probably hear that. I don't know why there's fireworks going on. Yeah, Hamilton pole, Verstappen second. They are really close as well. Oh, and they're all around me. That's a little bit scary. Jesus. Bottas third, Perez fourth, and then fifth place was kind of just a bit of a, who am I going to put there? I decided to go with Norris because he had a decent run in FP3. There's a cat in the background. So I've put Norris in P5. I don't know. I expect Perez can be a little bit off it sometimes, but I expect it to be somewhat like that in the top 4, and then not really too sure for P5. Alrighty.
Starting 1, 2, 3 here, have finished in that order in 4 of the last 6 races. We're talking on a front row, a difference of just 8 meters between pole and second. But when the scores are level, when the battle is that tight, any advantage got to be a good advantage.
Absolutely, and we know how good these cars are at getting off the start line, but also you can open up the first corner. The drivers are enjoying this new track layout. They say it's more open, it's faster and more satisfying to drive. Of course, there's quite a bit of new tarmac involved in those areas. Such
no, I can't show the. You're not allowed to show the footage on YouTube. I can't just show the whole quali thing on here, unfortunately.
The Red Bull are going lower and
so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a timer just above my my camera, and if you can watch it yourself, you can kind of, you know, sync it up somewhat so that you're at the same time as me. But no, I can't just show the quali on YouTube, unfortunately.
Carry the speed, not overheat the tyres, and delivered that perfectly on this now 16 corner anti-clockwise track, and get the car on the front row of the grid. And it's too close to call, although, you know, Lewis and Mercedes have had the momentum we're talking about in the last 3 races and through the free practice sessions here. but now is when it counts.
So how did you, when you were excelling as a racing driver and winning races in various Formula and competing at the highest level in Formula 1, how did you raise your game when it came to qualifying in that crunch moment when you were under pressure?
All right, less than a minute to go.
Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton having to survive that pressure day in, day out, pretty much all year long. How did you find the focus when you were on the track?
Alright, so predictions for going out in Q1. Mazepin, Schumacher, Latifi,
break a couple of meters later and just lean on the sidewall of the tyre and the lateral
I'm going to go Raikkonen
of the tyre, and somehow without messing it up,
Stroll.
without getting too deep in the braking zone and locking a front tyre, or
That's my prediction for who's going out in Q1. Alright, we're almost at the point where I can start the timer.
Almost all of the Formula 1 drivers have that capability.
There's so many opportunities every single meter on the track.
Oh, I've got a 15-minute timer. It's 18 minutes, isn't it? I've got that completely wrong. Let me do that again. The way I have to set the timer is a bit awkward.
Even further. Verstappen with
Do it to 1740.
in 2021. Hamilton with 5 poles in 2021. We will go for pole at the end of Q3. For now, though, the light is on. The cars
that should be
are filing out onto
somewhat
the track, and Q1 is all
right.
about getting through. We lose the slowest 5 drivers, and then we go on into Q2. That to come in a moment. Now, though, down to the pit lane. Ted Kravitz, good evening.
Hello, Crofty. Hello, Martin. Everybody. Yeah, and Red Bull.
I forgot that Q1 was 18 minutes long, not 15.
Just want to make sure everything is okay.
Whoops.
First of all, Max Verstappen being cheered on by a
Can you tell that I'm doing this for the first time?
the Orange Army in the grandstand. Many more fans for him than out for Lewis Hamilton, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. The Ferraris go out on the track, as you can see. We should have a word for Lando Norris. Was well and truly best of the rest in final practice. P5 and only just the top end of 7/10 off the Mercedes going into this session. So Lando Norris going well. As for those on the back foot, the Haas, the Williams, the Alfa Romeos, Fernando Alonso, who didn't run the soft tyre in final practice, and Sebastian Vettel, not quick in final
I'm interested to see what Alpine can do here, because they were really good in, was it FP2? FP2 that Ocon got P2 and Alonso was like P5? AlphaTauri looking strong. I haven't actually watched the practice sessions. I've only... Actually, I don't even think I've watched the highlights of FP3. I've watched the highlights of FP1 and 2. Haven't actually watched the highlights of FP3. I've just looked at the order, because I've been spending a lot of my time before, a couple of hours before this, trying to set up this stream. So I haven't actually watched the highlights for FP3 yet, but I kind of saw the order. So AlphaTauri, look, yeah, Tsunoda's beat Gasly. Has Tsunoda beat Gasly in every session? I know he beat him in a couple. So, is there something looking good here for Tsunoda? Maybe.
Possibly a touch wide. Now it's directly down the hill into the braking zone for turn 5. Does he want to take a tight apex through there? He tends to take like a median line through the corner, pick up the throttle, always powering on through the exit of the corner. You go down the middle of the straight, because all of a sudden it becomes the right-hand side as you lose a lane right at the end. There it is. Pick your braking point. Quite a tricky little off-camber chicane.
Do you think that next year, with the third place in the Constructors' Ferrari, will make a better engine? Well, can they do much to the engine? Because there's a bit of an engine freeze at the moment, isn't there? They can't do a whole lot to it, I don't think. So I'm not really sure. I'm not too sure on the situation with the engines and stuff. From my understanding, they can't do much to the engines now. I think Ferrari will have a good car next year. Yeah, there's kind of an engine freeze, so I don't think they can really do much.
and I believe he did.
That time of a 1:23.6
I think Ferrari will
for
have a
Max
good car
Verstappen
next year.
might not count
I'm
in the end. He's ahead of Yuki Tsunoda by
honestly,
3/10 and his teammate Sergio Perez
I expect
by
Ferrari
half a
to be
second, but
up
turn
there
7, turn 15,
as the
and
quickest
turn
teams.
16, the FIA are looking at track limits, and if you go
Yeah,
all
I just
four
have a
wheels
feeling, I
over
don't
the
know, I
white
just
lines
have a
with
feeling that
PK,
Ferrari are going to
Max
be up there
Verstappen's partner, and
next
you
year.
will have your lap time
And I mean, I'm
deleted.
all for it.
So we'll wait to see
Definitely.
what the stewards have found with their evidence.
Well, there's a lot of rubber down there now, isn't there, on that line, actually? But
I think Sainz deserves his first win. And if Ferrari are up there, he'll get that. He'll get it next year. Leclerc's definitely, definitely deserving of another win.
Where he wants to be. All 20 cars
So
are
yeah,
currently out on
I'm really
track
hoping
in
next year.
phases of their running.
And this was Mick Schumacher
I mean,
into turn
part of
one,
me's
his
like
first flying lap, and going
Mercedes,
wide and,
Red Bull,
off the
Ferrari,
track.
McLaren.
He managed to put in a time that's about 2 seconds
Four
slower, than Max
teams
Verstappen.
all
So,
right
yeah,
at the top.
Gasly now
That
second, fastest
would be
Carlos
really
Sainz
awesome
into
to
the
me.
top 5. Interestingly, both
I don't
Sainz and
know
McLaren
if you're going to get
running
that many
medium
teams that
compound
close,
tyre at the
but
start of this
that would be
qualifying
awesome.
session.
Those
We'll see
four
Max
in
Verstappen's
particular.
first lap, Lewis Hamilton
Because, you know, you've got
now
George
powering
Russell
down
at Mercedes
the main
next year.
straight for his
You've
first
got
lap. So take it away,
Verstappen
Martin.
once again at Red Bull. If he doesn't get the title this year, goes for it again next year. Leclerc and Sainz at Ferrari is very exciting. Lando Norris and McLaren. And Daniel Ricciardo, if he can step up his game for next year, because although he's stepped up from where he was at the start of the season, Ricciardo's still having iffy moments, I feel, this season. If he can step that up next year and they have a, you know, potentially championship winning car, it's going to be a good season. I really hope that the top is a lot closer. Yes, Lando sure does deserve a win. So heartbroken for him. In Russia, it was... Yeah, I mean, he deserved the win. He definitely deserved the win after the drive in Russia. But at the same time, kind of was his fault, kind of wasn't his fault with what happened. I mean, I think McLaren could have been way more, you know, like, hey, this is the weather's coming in, you need to go onto intermediate tyres, you need to. And then if he then didn't listen then it's on him. But McLaren really weren't pushing him at all, which honestly I think was the downfall of it, to be honest. I think if they pushed him a bit harder, he would have gone, okay, fine, I'll go with it, and he could have won the race. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but I'm sure Norris, I'm sure we'll get a win. I'm sure. Way better at Monaco. Yeah, Ricciardo did not have a good Monaco Grand Prix this year. Really didn't. Lapped by his teammates. Very not good.
With Charles Leclerc visor cam for this weekend, and you get a great sensation of what it's like to race between the barriers and around the yachts here.
You can see why they trip over each other quite often, can't you? Or not realise another driver's around them. The cars they've got the plan area.
Got visor cam with Charles Leclerc.
2 meters wide, over 5 meters long. They're buried inside the cockpit, but they feel every movement of the car through their backside, through the palm of their hands, through their feet.
So everybody sets a lap, apart from Schumacher and Mazepin.
Nightmare scenario, isn't it, for Red Bull at the moment with.
So Mazepin, Schumacher, Latifi, Vettel and Stroll currently at the bottom, in the bottom 5, but that's not really, doesn't really mean anything at the moment. There's still 10 minutes of the session to go, so Hamilton's currently in the lead, Bottas second, Verstappen third, Norris fourth. Perez is all the way down in 9th at the moment. A couple of guys, the 2 Ferraris are on mediums, which is interesting. Are they trying to save their softs a bit for... I don't know. I can understand going on to mediums in Q2 because of the Q2 tyre rule, but Don't really know why you'd go on it in Q1. Sainz is coming into the pits though, so does that mean he's changing onto a set of softs? I don't really know.
Sergio Perez then continues on his way. You can see how light and floaty almost the car gets in that off-camber corner.
Perez on a quicker lap here as well. He's coming towards the end of the lap. Now, currently P9, he's going quicker, so it's going to be a better lap. Ooh, P3.
Fastest ahead of his teammate Max Verstappen. The track might be just getting that little bit faster as the temperature drops.
Perez P3 ahead of Verstappen at the moment.
That is often the case.
So Max is on, it's a personal best middle sector that matches the Mercedes-Benz on a 36.0, leaning up against the barrier. 2 corners to go. We know that he got in a little bit hot into the final.
My phone's definitely going to go flat. I think after Q1 I'm going to have to run off to grab my charger. The problem is my phone doesn't charge properly. I have like a wireless charger for it. It has to like sit on a base.
Whilst it might have looked from the angle we were all watching from, the Verstappen went all 4 wheels beyond that white line. Nothing doing from the steward's room in terms of a lap deletion.
And it doesn't matter anymore anyway, does it, now that he's pumped in a faster lap, which is good news.
Sebastian Vettel into the bottom 5 because his teammate Lance Stroll has just gone 13th. Gasly goes 6th fastest.
Alright, so Verstappen is now second. Gasly goes 6th. Sonoda's looking good. Sonoda P5 ahead of Gasly.
For an AlphaTauri that over 1 lap has looked absolutely lightning so far this weekend. Sonoda currently 5th fastest.
Sonoda's looking really good at the moment. I mean, like I said, I think he was quicker than Gasly in, maybe not all 3 sessions, but I think in at least 2 sessions, 2 practice sessions, he was quicker than Gasly. And he's quicker than Gasly at the moment by almost a 10th.
It's not that easy, I would imagine, from behind the wheel to know exactly where the line is.
Alright, Ricciardo. How's Ricciardo going?
So Gasly down to 9th. Daniel Ricciardo fighting that McLaren through the
bit of
final
a
turn, and he
oh,
now
he's
takes
done a decent lap now.
previous place of 6th fastest, but he lost a bit of time.
Oh,
through the
Gasly's
final
time's
sector.
deleted.
And his teammate Lando Norris, one of the pole sitters during the course of 2021, has set 2 personal bests through the first and middle.
No, it's not an iPhone. It's a Samsung Galaxy S9. There's a bollard on the track.
Norris as he goes 4th fastest. Where's that bollard finally settled itself?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have to call it quits momentarily and pick that up, because it's right on the exit of the corner on the racing line.
There is a bollard on the track.
Marshals or the crowd.
Yeah, decent crowd in here this weekend enjoying themselves.
So Norris P4. Norris is doing good. I'm surprised by Sonoda.
Especially as the Aston Martin
Sonoda's doing really well at the moment.
Gap to get out there and pick that up.
Could this be?
Yep, and nothing indicated why it's still
Could
there.
this be?
And
I mean,
have got a red flag.
red flag.
You preempted that, Martin. They have to get rid of that because, as you say, on the racing line,
They have to red flag for
any
that?
car could flick that up and into the crowd, and there are quite a few spectators within a flicking distance, shall we say, of that bollard.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess
there is a big gap between cars, but
safety reasons, but I think a red flag's a little bit of an overstatement.
In qualifying.
So was it the Haas that hit it? Yes, it was.
Ah, there you go. It was Schumacher. Schumacher hit the bollard.
His way next on the track.
And then Norris
Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris running
booped it out
over it.
of the way.
It could have been quite easily flicked up, but it's well, you see how downforce works there, Martin, getting completely sucked underneath the car and then shot out from just to the rear of the red tyres. So session is stopped, the clock will stop as well, everyone returns to the pits.
Okay, well, I guess I've got to stop my timer now. That makes things a bit awkward.
Either on an in-lap or an out-lap.
Stop my timer.
According to your driver tracker, there were many people actually
Oh, I should have paused it, shouldn't I?
Safety first for the Marshall track.
You know, I might as well. Can I go?
We're actually on an out lap as well. They abandoned the idea of trying to get through on the medium tyre. That's the point. Them wanting to use the soft in the next session.
25.
Neither Ferrari feeling safe. There is Charles Leclerc just pits
26.
in front of me, and I think they're right not to feel
Can
safe.
I pause?
24-1 for Sainz, and 24-3 for Leclerc.
I think I've stopped it. 6:25. Time has been stopped.
But yeah, as a cut-off guide, I think a very low 24 will guarantee you getting out of this session.
So 6 minutes 25 to go in Q1 with a red flag. Session will be resumed. Session is literally about to get going in 32 seconds. So that was a very, very quick red flag. Mazepin, Schumacher, Latifi, Raikkonen, Vettel, the bottom 5 right now.
Last week, and Sebastian Vettel, who isn't safe, round about 3/100ths of a second.
So,
10th on the grid for Giovinazzi in Saudi Arabia, finished 9th in the race for his best finish and his second point-scoring finish of the season. Session will restart then in 3 seconds' time. The bollard has been removed. 6 minutes 20 seconds or so.
Oh, I've pretty much got that exact. Got the restart exact there, I reckon.
I think the Ferraris will be going
very good.
On the soft
no, I've got that very good.
Alrighty, into a top 10.
We're underway again
hanging on in there at the
for
moment.
Q1.
Has been absolutely phenomenal in that Williams, an average starting position, Martin, for George Russell.
Now I kind of expect that bottom 5 to stay pretty similar.
In 2019, his first season with the team.
Wasn't expecting Vettel to be the one, to be the Aston Martin there.
And I'm not quite sure who's trying to beat who. Are they looking for a slipstream action later on? And obviously in qualifying you can open your drag reduction system rear wing just when you please within the DRS zones, of course, not all the way around the track. And that you don't have to be within 1 second of the car in front of you as you do in the race. So that's why you see the wings open a lot more. But
so the current order is Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris, Perez, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Ocon, Alonso, Gasly. That's your top 10. Then you've got Sainz, Leclerc, Stroll, Russell and Giovinazzi. And then in the drop zone, Vettel, Raikkonen, Latifi, Schumacher and Mazepin. 5 minutes to go. Top 10 have not gone out yet. Russell's also not gone out. And I don't think, is that Latifi, Schumacher and Mazepin also not out? So not a whole lot of cars on the track yet.
As you can see, Esteban Ocon going quite slowly there. Vettel clipped the wall on the exit of turn 14 and then comes across Ocon, who is very much on the racing line, preparing himself to start a flying lap.
What was he doing?
And you've got to say,
alright, well that's probably why Vettel had a bad lap. He got impeded by Ocon a little bit there.
Yeah, Ocon was a day late and a dollar short in getting that lap underway, wasn't he? And it unquestionably compromised the end of Vettel's lap. Vettel then currently in the drop zone, as you can see.
Yeah, I guess it's not really Ocon's fault, it's more the team's fault. They should have, you know, told him Vettel's coming, slow down a bit more, let him go, and then get your run to start your lap. But Vettel. I reckon he'll get through. I reckon he'll be fine.
Hadn't had to slow down. We're back on board with Charles Leclerc. We'll see what the stewards decide
Interested
to do.
to see
or not in a few
who's going to go out here.
Now at towards 200 miles an hour with Charles Leclerc.
Once again, we're on board with Leclerc.
Imagine 200 miles
the
an hour,
visor cam.
down in the bath, looking over the taps through a letterbox, and that's about it.
I've seen a bathtub do 200 miles an hour, but that could be a very interesting experiment during the course of the winter. We got a couple of months. Underneath the hotel bridge goes Charles Leclerc. Sebastian Vettel definitely clipped that wall. You can see where he's rubbed off some of the advertising hoardings as Leclerc's teammate Sainz, now on the soft compound tyre, goes 9th fastest.
Right.
Basically, it looks a lot
Leclerc across the line, P6 for Leclerc.
6th fastest for Charles Leclerc.
Pretty much everyone's gone back out, with the exception of Verstappen and Norris and Russell. Russell's still not gone out.
He's going to Formula E. It feels a bit of a shame. He's done really well there. We know that
it's getting a bit tight for time for him.
Retiring, that piece we did with him earlier. He is so over it, isn't he? He's over the PR, the media, and the travel.
Is Russell going to come out here?
If we could race next door was actually an expression he used.
He's probably, I mean, he's got time, but not a whole lot of time.
Think about doing it, but I'm not even convinced by that. He's and why not? 349 Grand Prix, and in the middle of that, 2 years of rallying and NASCAR for good measure. Extraordinary career.
And I don't think he's going to give up racing, just not Formula One. Now what's going on down at Red Bull? And Max Verstappen's car, has he gone over a curb? Are they looking at some potential possible damage maybe after going over
Russell's
a curb?
finally going out.
Got the torches in hands to see if there is any damage.
Hamilton's going for probably his final
We've
flying
got 1
lap here.
minute and 45 seconds
It will
to
be his
go,
final flying lap.
of this session. On their outlap, Mazepin
I mean,
and Schumacher and Latifi,
he's safe,
trying to get out of that
but
5. Vettel and Raikkonen will get another lap in as well.
might as well try and do a better lap, I guess. Bit more practice in the bank.
New set of softs, and he hooks up with the apex really nicely there. And your job as a racing driver is to minimise the angle of the corners and minimise the length of the track.
Goes purple in the first sector.
Will let you get away with.
Good first sector for Hamilton, a 16.9. Bottas did a 17.0. Tsunoda a 17.1. In the bottom 5, a 17.2 for Sebastian Vettel. Schumacher and Mazepin about 0.3 of a second off that as we now get towards turn 9. Do enjoy watching the cars go through here. Not quite
3
sure
tenths up in sector 2 for Hamilton. He's flying around at the moment.
Double apex left-hander is replaced, but Hamilton
Verstappen and Norris will not be coming out, but I think they're both safe anyway.
On full tanks, maybe with their tyres degrading a little bit.
Second and fourth, respectively.
Quarter third of the race, but
they should be fine.
As you pointed out, Lewis really flying along.
Kimi Raikkonen is out.
Right, Vettel gets into P14.
At the moment, he's not going to get out to start a lap in time.
Alright, Raikkonen's not doing a lap, so he is out. P17. Raikkonen's out for his last qualifying session in Formula 1. Bottas goes second.
As the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi locks up on his final flying lap going into turn 1. Mick Schumacher only 18th fastest.
Schumacher is 18th.
Tsunoda's
gone 4th.
Pierre Gasly's put in a personal best in the middle sector and he needs it. Lance Stroll is the driver at danger. George Russell's into the bottom 5.
Gasly goes 5th, so he's still behind Tsunoda. Wow.
And that was in the sprint
Okay.
race at Monza. Perez goes 4th fastest.
Perez
Honda in their
4th.
final race, showing that they've got plenty of power here around the Yas Marina circuit. But what about the Mercedes power and the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll?
So Lance Stroll in the drop zone at the moment.
At risk at the moment because Latifi only 15th fastest at the end of his final flying lap. Stroll in his 100th Grand Prix this weekend crosses the line, goes 13th,
Okay.
and puts Latifi into
Stroll
the
puts
bottom
Latifi
5.
in the bottom 5. Latifi is out.
Sebastian Vettel that might cause a bit of danger. Ocon goes 9th ahead of
Vettel's
Daniel
on the cusp
Ricciardo.
again.
Well, George Russell is out on the track as Alonso
Alonso goes 11th.
George Russell has got potential and pace as Carlos Sainz goes 8th fastest and he's safely through as Charles Leclerc goes 6th
Where are you,
fastest.
Georgie
So
boy?
Ocon and
Come
Vettel,
on.
we saw them having a bit of a moment at the final corner. Are they both going to go through? It looks like it as it stands at the moment, Martin, which means the stewards have noted that incident and will probably not take too much action because both have got through.
Yeah, and George Russell then out-qualified. He's not. He can't do a lap now, can he?
No. Wow.
Out-qualified.
Okay.
He's in the pit lane
Did
by
not expect that.
Latifi. And
Russell
he's
has
quite
been
into the season,
out-qualifying.
relatively speaking, George, hasn't he?
Russell's been
Since,
out-qualified
since
by
their
Latifi.
performances, but of course
I mean,
this
it's
is
already
his last
happened
race
this
for
season
Williams
before, but
he gets the hot seat.
it's happened again.
Second time in conventional qualifying. George
Wow.
Russell out-qualified by Nicholas Latifi. Nikita Mazepin, sadly
That's
for
not a
him,
good
hasn't
last
made it out of
qualifying
Q1
for
in any session so far this
Russell.
season.
Yeah, I went tired, went nowhere, absolutely nowhere. So guys, we didn't need to risk up. We could have gone 3 fast so fast. We had the pace. We had the pace.
Russell thinks the approach didn't do him any favours. So 2 Williams and 2 Hasses and Kimi Raikkonen, sadly for him, all out.
So
in
let's
this first part of qualifying.
do
the stewards are looking
this.
at that Vettel and Ocon incident. They're going to investigate after the session. Hamilton quickest in Q1.
Okay, I haven't got the thing up now, but I think I remember what it was. Mazepin,
It's time to
Schumacher,
head back to Sydney, the place where it all began. For the
Raikkonen.
penultimate event.
Very late to maneuver and he's collided with the US crew.
With only 2 events remaining, it's all on the line and every point counts.
And Latifi. Mazepin, Schumacher, Raikkonen, Russell, Latifi. I think that's correct.
I want to live, not merely survive. And I won't.
Alrighty, that should now have changed to add in the bottom 5. The first one's knocked out in Q1. There you go. Mazepin in 20th, Schumacher 19th, Raikkonen 18th, Russell 17th, and Latifi in 16th. So that's Q1 done. So I will take the timer off, and on to Q2 we go. So I'm going to grab my phone charger because it's on 8%. It is going to go flat. So I will be back in a second.
History is filled with almosts. Those who almost adventured, who almost achieved. Then there are others. The ones who embrace the moment and commit. They calm their minds and steel their nerves with 4 simple words, whispered since the time of the Romans. Fortune favors the brave.
Is covered with Optus. Find the perfect gift and pay it off over time.
Thank you.
Completely interest-free. It starts with yes.
Welcome back to qualifying here in Abu Dhabi. Mercedes with pace, Hamilton and Bottas first and second fastest. Sebastian Vettel complaining that Carlos Sainz got in his way, not just Esteban Ocon. And if you've missed the first part of qualifying, if you're a Sky Q or a Sky Glass customer, you can watch the highlights alongside the live action by pressing the red button. And if you want to contribute to our live poll as we watch the drivers go for pole, you can do. skysports.com/play. Who's going to be on pole in Abu Dhabi? Lewis Hamilton shading it. Well, double the amount really. There's those voting for Max Verstappen. 3% of you say neither.
Okay,
Not quite sure who you're
I'm
voting
back.
for there, but whoever you want to vote for, do.
Phone is on charge.
When we've decided
We are
who's
good.
got pole on the track. Christian Horner, meanwhile, is on the Red Bull pit wall, and he's with us this evening. Christian, as first sessions go, you've got through it unscathed, but Mercedes seem to have a little bit more pace. Worried or not?
I am rather surprised about Russell going out.
Yeah, I mean, they've certainly got pace.
Really am.
And obviously they did an additional run. The circuit's getting cooler, the track's getting quicker, that we didn't respond with Max with. So just trying to save a bit of mileage. So now obviously the crucial part of which tyres you take to start the race on.
And can you give us a heads up on that? What do you think is going to be the strategy for the top 10?
I'm not going to give away our hand, you know, obviously, because as you're well aware, there's quite a lot of people that tune in to listen to these from other teams. But yeah, you know, obviously we're going to go out and do the best that we can and pick our start tire that you'll see in due course.
Is there an argument, though, Christian, you don't have to give away your hand, but is there an argument that starting on a soft tyre, if you're behind Mercedes, it might be on a medium tyre, could be a good strategy for the start of the race if you were to go that way?
It's a possibility, and you know, it's quite fine, the margins between the strategies here. So it's going to be fascinating to see who picks to go with which tyre. And yeah, you know, obviously the start's important.
That's the thing now, tyres. What tyres are people going to run?
So,
mainly
it's going to be fascinating to see
Mercedes and Red Bull. What are they going to do?
I'm guessing that even if you don't get pole,
Hamilton's got mediums on.
Critical, Christian. You don't want 2 Mercedes ahead of you, mind you. Didn't do any harm in Mexico, did it?
Look, you know, we just got to string a lap together. You know, they've got a very strong car around here. You can see our tyre choice now, and Mercedes. So it's a straight shootout on this tyre. You know, to see.
Alright, they're all going for mediums. Everybody's, well, the Red Bulls and the Mercedes both going for mediums. So,
medium for Mercedes as well. Thank you to the 10,000 plus of you who have taken part in our poll so far. It's a live poll. Keep voting. skysports.com/play as the light goes green and we get on with the next part of qualifying. Now, not only do we lose the slowest 5 once again in this one, but the tyres that you are on to set your fastest lap, for those that get into the top 10, they are your starting tyres for the race.
Yes, the exact set, and you're not allowed to mix and match sets. If you've got a genuine problem with the tyre, you can take it to the FIA scrutineers and ask to change it for one of a similar mileage. And as they're jockeying around, we've got the 2 Red Bull Hondas, and we have the 2, well, we've got 1 Gasly, haven't we? The AlphaTauri Honda as well, for good measure.
Yep, Tsunoda and Gasly and Verstappen and Perez, Honda powered for the last time in Formula One. It's Honda's last race, and well, like Antonio Giovinazzi, I hope it's not the end of Honda in Formula One. I hope we can see them back again, but next year Red Bull will have their own branded engines, albeit built in association with the Japanese company.
I'm just giggling because Nico Hulkenberg said to me, "You love a saying. I love this saying. You, what is it?
I probably should start my timer, shouldn't I?
Yeah, I get a bit of stick for that on Twitter."
So this compound's just going to need a bit more work.
What are we looking at? 13.
Yeah.
Let's go
so
25.
In other words, a little bit hotter on the outlap, and use the brake pedal. Put some energy into the brakes. You can open the DRS
Alrighty,
and
that's somewhere
the front
close.
tires up a little bit
I
as well,
think
and prepare them ready.
timer
for the
is
launch.
going
You don't have
once
to be
again
doing
for
2 runs
Q2.
In Q2, you really want to be getting it done, but not locking, not snatching.
So the
front
2
tyre
Aston
anywhere
Martins
either.
on the soft tyres.
Only the 2 Aston Martins out on track.
Kind
on
of
the soft
expected
tyre at
that
the moment,
because
as they,
if they do
hope
want to
that
get through
will
to
give them a bit of
Q3,
pace to try and get into
I don't think they're going to do it on the
Sebastian
mediums.
Vettel's only done it once in the last
Aston
5
Martin
races,
don't
that's
seem to
for
have
Qatar.
particularly
Only
good
twice in the last
pace
12 races for
here.
Lance Stroll, getting
So
into Q3.
yeah,
Qatar was his first top 6 finish
I
of
think
the
their only
season,
chance
and
to
a
get through
decent
is
performance it was too. Hamilton
on
won in
softs
Qatar,
if
dominating
the other guys
performance,
decide
from him in the Mercedes,
aren't quick enough on the mediums and then decide that, well, either don't get a chance to do a quick lap on the softs or decide that they just don't want to do that. They'd rather start further down on the mediums. So
just in case, you don't want to carry. I mean, every lap of fuel is going to cost you 1/10 of a second.
Interesting.
That's more critical in the top 10 shootout for the front of the grid. That long turn 9 where they kind of walk up the cambered track there, and then it's super fast through here, absolutely flat out, and heavy braking then. And now it's pretty much 90 left. 90 left off camber, up against the barrier. It looks like some of them hitting the barrier, but I think it's a bit of hoarding moving around there. This is flat out the penultimate corner. And then really
Lewis Hamilton coming across the line for his first flying lap of Q2. 23.185.
Nicely then.
We've got Verstappen in the mini box. He's now on the full screen. He's not going as quick as Hamilton.
As Verstappen makes his way around the final corner, goes second fastest.
23.189 though. Wow.
Towards the end of the lap,
that is very close.
Of a second
Jesus.
Between Hamilton and Verstappen.
That is
and
very
suddenly,
close.
This sunset showdown here in Abu Dhabi has got a lot closer.
Game very much back on. It is medium tyre versus medium tyre. But yeah, that's very good news. Very exciting.
Once upon a time, we'd have thought, well,
Tsunoda's just rocking it right now.
Engine, you know, and, well, Red Bull
He's
just turn up their
absolutely
engine and
rocking
put some
it.
distance between themselves when it comes to the shootout for pole, but he can't
What
do
has
that
he?
now. Your modes are
What
all
did
set,
Tsunoda
aren't
have
they?
for
By the
breakfast?
time that you start qualifying and you take
He's
into the
2 tenths
race as
off
well.
Hamilton.
Well, here's a beautiful
On the same
sight.
tyre.
The red and the blue of Alpine and
He's
Ferrari,
quicker than
four
Perez
cars all
at the
out
moment.
there, pretty much nose to tail. Ocon ahead of Alonso.
They probably haven't done a full-on push lap yet, but
just ahead of him.
All 15
still.
cars on the track at the moment. Some of them recovering back to the pits. Some of them just getting underway. Most of them down at turn 9 by the looks of it.
Yeah, and still the Aston Martins, the only two on the soft tyre. Oh, actually been joined by Leclerc, Sainz, Ocon, Ricciardo and Alonso going with those soft tyres as
okay.
well. So
Ricciardo and the 2 Ferraris going on the softs. Interesting.
for Verstappen.
Especially for Ricciardo, because Norris is on the
Third
mediums.
Perez only 6th fastest.
Ricciardo's on the
Tsunoda,
softs.
who's had an excellent weekend. The young rookie who completed 123 laps in practice
Interesting.
in the test last year, but has never raced.
This could get interesting because, you know, having quite a lot of them on the softs, that could really mix things up a bit here. You've kind of got half the grid on the softs, half of them on the mediums. So could get interesting.
Tsunoda in 5 of the last 6 races. Ocon is a race winner in 2021. Could have had 2 podiums, but he was pipped on the line by Valtteri Bottas last time out. While we watch his progress down that back straight, Ted's got some news in the pit lane.
Just a quick one. Pierre Gasly's had a problem on that lap. Crofty explains that gap to his teammate Tsunoda in 4th. Gasly only 9th. He felt like after turn 9, he went for the brakes and there was just nothing.
Yeah, Gasly's not having a great day at the moment, is he?
Anyway, he's going to return to the pits and try and sort it out for a second run.
DRS for Esteban Ocon, slams shut as into turn 9 he goes. He's only half a second down through the first 2 parts of this lap. His teammate Fernando Alonso about a 10th of a second up on young Esteban. Charles Leclerc about a 10th of a second up.
They've added this green to the Alpines. Is that just like a special thing for this race? I don't really like it. It doesn't work as well as just the red at the back there.
Ocon crosses the line now, goes 5th fastest. Decent lap from the Alpine. What's Fernando Alonso got to show? He goes now 5th fastest and beats his teammate by nearly 4/10 of a second. Leclerc behind in the Ferrari, and he goes 3rd fastest.
Yeah, Leclerc 3rd, okay.
Flat spot. Massive.
That's his race.
Sainz goes quickest.
Not good news for Max Verstappen as Carlos Sainz on the soft tyre goes quickest overall by about 100th of a second from Lewis Hamilton. So as I mentioned, whatever time you set as your fastest time in Q2, if you're into the top 10, they are your race tyres for the start of the race. Does he want these race tyres, Martin, or not?
Yeah, and he knows, you can hear it.
So Verstappen locked up into turn 1. That is not good for him.
UK terms, and you can feel it. And then the faster you go, the more it shakes your eyeballs. I'm a bit surprised he was going for another lap, if I'm honest. But you know, it's not. I guess it's not super comfortable in the top 10 there, is it?
So here's the thing: he hasn't got another new set of the medium tyres to use.
Okay, this could get interesting for Verstappen.
The time of a
He's in 3rd.
So what does he do? Does he put on one of those new sets of soft
He does
tyres?
not want to start the race on those medium tyres after flat spotting him.
He will be starting the race.
But he doesn't have any other new sets to use.
That the quick once over in the back of the garage,
So
and think, right, we should be able to race that tomorrow. Because if you have flat spotted it, you don't want to be starting with that.
Well, the vibration can break the suspension. It also makes it difficult for visibility into the braking zones.
So at the moment, eliminated, or in the elimination zone, Gasly, Vettel, Giovinazzi, Stroll, and Ricciardo.
Quite often, and and eventually you go through the rubber to
Ooh,
the carcass.
brief yellow
So
in sector 3 there. Don't know what that was for.
And we've seen drivers having to come into
Was that for Ricciardo?
pits, haven't we? Because the teams are
So we're looking
concerned
at
about
Ricciardo
the
now.
integrity of the suspension. Such
Could have
is
been.
the frequency of the vibration.
Don't know.
What would the FIA do? Would they allow you to change that because of reliability? I mean, I've seen worse flat spots, I must admit, as Paul Monaghan, the chief engineer for Red Bull in his time. But if they do need to change it, could they? Like if the cricket ball goes out of shape, the umpires will have a box of balls of a similar age to bring out and change if necessary.
They might be able to use the left front. They've got 3 sets of mediums for the weekend. They might be able to put a left front on with some mileage on from another set. If they can show that that's damaged and it's dangerous.
Either way, not ideal.
Okay. Perez is right on the cusp as well. He's in P10. And this is the thing with a lot of guys going on softs. It's really mixed things up a little bit.
Going into turn 1. Carlos Sainz on the soft compound tyre put in the fastest lap of that session, a 1:23.1. Carlos Sainz, who's been struggling to get into Q3 of late, only 6 times in the last 14 races. He's gone on and scored in every single one of those 14 races, but Sainz is the fastest at the moment, albeit on the soft tyre, not the mediums, and the track may be starting to get a little bit faster as well towards the end of that session.
All right,
Ricardo
5 minutes to go.
Giovinazzi and Vettel and Gasly all need to improve their times because they're in the elimination zone. Ted, down to you.
Well, the likes of Stroll and Vettel need to find 0.4 to half a second to try and get out of this session. Sebastian Vettel at 24.3. You really need a 23.3 to be sure of getting out of this session. But they both get out on the hard tyres. What's going on with Daniel Ricciardo? Lando Norris on the medium tyre and is quicker than Ricciardo on the soft. So I don't think Ricciardo got the best out of the McLaren on that run. So let's see what Daniel does again. But have you noticed Giovinazzi's Kimi tribute
Who's
helmet?
this? Vettel and Stroll both out on the track at the moment. 2 Aston Martins, both in the drop zone. Still on the soft tyres.
Sauber era tribute helmet to himself.
There's quite a few tribute helmets going on this weekend. Valtteri Bottas in his 101st and last start for Mercedes has got pictures of all his favourite moments and wonderful moments with the team as he and Lewis Hamilton celebrate 100 races as teammates, and the last time as teammates this evening and this weekend here at Yas Marina. And certainly all the helmets look great under the lights. They've all put an extra touch of sparkle on them. George Russell has got a helmet that looks like it's been signed by all of his teammates and mechanics and engineers. Nicholas Latifi writing on there, George, I was your favourite teammate, which is
I think
quite
this is
cool,
Stroll gone for a push lap, maybe?
Lewis Hamilton sporting
Vettel, I believe, is on a push lap.
and wearing it with pride,
Maybe
full
not.
racing pride, as he has done for the last
I don't think he's on a
3
push lap.
races, of course. Now, Max Verstappen, I'm
think
told
he's
he's
gone for it
coming
now.
out of the garage in a moment and will be on the soft compound tyre.
Oh,
They
okay.
often do that, don't they, to rehearse the top 10 shootout and then abandon the lap so they don't become the set of tyres.
So Verstappen's gone onto a set of softs.
Will he be consigned
Like they say, though, it might just be just in case, because he probably doesn't want to start the race on those tyres.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll watch out when he starts a flying lap or not. Sebastian Vettel is on a flying lap at the moment, and he needs to fly like the wind because he needs to get out of that bottom 5. There's the Aston Martin pit
I
wall.
would have thought Verstappen was really at risk.
In the front of the shot.
Maybe there's a lot of cars all together.
Headed by Charles Leclerc, then Fernando Alonso, then Lance Stroll, then Pierre Gasly. Lewis Hamilton's in there ahead of Yuki Tsunoda too, and well, it looks like we've got a race on already as they try and find themselves a little bit of track
Look at all
position.
these
And not
cars.
too close to the car in front, and who knows how
All
this
over
one's
the
going to sort
place.
itself out as Hamilton dives down the inside and gets past Charles Leclerc, who then gets bypassed by
It's like a race out there.
Yeah, they are pushing crazy, yeah.
by Pierre Gasly. There is a danger, Martin, that they are all pushing a little too hard here.
What are they
They've got
doing?
plenty of time to get round, but yeah, a lot of clever people with a lot of clever tools and algorithms coming up with the same answer. And there they are, all out
Wow,
there
there's a
together.
lot of cars coming into this final corner.
That,
All together.
edgy, didn't it?
They're just...
Verstappen we're on board with.
Well, there goes the Alpine round the
It's
outside.
getting a little bit
of,
ridiculous.
Max Verstappen.
Look at
He's
all
kind of
those
found himself
cars.
boxed in. So now he's slammed the brakes on a little bit. It was Esteban Ocon in the Alpine, and he's just going to hang back. But the more you hang back, the more you cool your tyres down.
Yeah, they've got a gentleman's agreement for those laps. which
Alright,
always
Alonso's
makes
gone
it
on a push.
difficult.
He's in the top 10 at the moment, but he's not
in
safe.
Formula One, especially in qualifying.
Sector
Yellow
3,
flag.
yellow
It's sector 3.
flag.
It's double waved yellow flag, which could have consequences for those on a flying lap.
Who's
As
oh,
we
is
watch
that because of
Fernando
all
Alonso, it's all been cleared now. Alonso's well away from where that
Look at
yellow
all those
flag
cars
was
just
waving.
piled up at the end there.
It's all been cleared up, so
I
it won't
think they
affect his
will
lap
just
as Hamilton
about
puts in a 16.8 for the
get
first sector.
through.
Alonso is 69. Vettel did
I do hate this
19.8,
about
and
quali
whether it's
in
Sebastian
F1,
Vettel
how
that
they just
brought out
all
that
pile
double
up
waved yellow. I think it
to go
might
for their
just
final
be,
push lap. It's
and that
just,
could be the end of Sebastian
it's just
Vettel's qualifying,
ridiculous,
because
and
he's
it's
in the bottom
so
5.
dangerous,
you're in a
and it just
double
screws
waved
people
yellow
over.
zone, you're
I hate it. I really
give up
hate
the
it.
lap.
Which Norris and Ricciardo and Giovinazzi might all have been caught up a bit in that as well. Just watching the timing screens, they might well have found themselves caught up in that double waved yellow as we continue on with
Oh, this is going to get interesting. The McLaren's going to get in his way here. If he's not careful.
Perez is the driver at risk. Lance Stroll is one of those trying to leapfrog him at the moment. He's put in a personal best.
Okay, Ricciardo's just about got out in front.
Fastest of all in the middle sector as Alonso crosses the line, 7th fastest. We look to see where Lewis Hamilton is.
Alonso did not really improve. Hamilton goes quickest. Time is about to run out. Alright, that's the checkered flag out. Lance Stroll, P12, he's not going to get out of Q2. Gasly's not out. 12th for Gasly. Gasly's been out-qualified by his teammate. Gasly has been out-qualified by Tsunoda quite considerably here. Okay. So Perez has actually gone quickest. Not sure what tyres he was on though.
Norris has gone fastest, his fastest through the middle
Ocon goes P8.
Fastest. Norris at risk with his teammate Daniel Ricciardo also.
Norris goes P7.
Norris goes quickest, quicker I should say, 7th fastest for him.
Perez has gone quickest. Oh, okay.
Because he has gone quicker and he's gone quickest of all. Cheers from the crowd. Red Bull have played their strategy hand.
Interesting.
Mercedes will be starting this race on the medium. Red Bull hoping for more speed off the line on the softs.
Daniel Ricciardo just gets through.
But only
just.
But in this championship battle, Martin Brundle, Red Bull have gone for speed and grip off the line.
Did they really want to though with Max Verstappen, or was their hand forced with the lockup on the medium compound tyres?
Interesting stuff.
Christian, if he's prepared to tell us, but for now,
interesting.
This is not the grid. It is the grid for
so
12, 13,
Vettel,
14,
Giovinazzi, Stroll, Gasly, Alonso. Vettel. Okay, can I remember that? Probably not.
It's about who goes through to the top 10 shootout. It does commit both Red Bulls,
Wow.
as you rightly
Okay,
say,
let me just get this
Crofty,
sorted,
to soft tyres
and then I'll do a bit more talking.
So Sebastian Vettel misses out, Antonio Giovinazzi misses out, Lance Stroll misses out on Q3, Pierre Gasly fails to reach Q3 for only the 4th time in the last 25 Grand Prix, and Fernando Alonso misses Q3 by just 12 1/1000th of a second. Verstappen quickest on the soft tyre, that's what he'll start the race on tomorrow. Hamilton
Get
on the
my
medium.
thing together.
Now the race is on then, ladies and gentlemen.
Vettel, Giovinazzi, Stroll. Is it Ocon along? No, Gasly. Gasly's in there somewhere. 12 Gasly, I think. Gasly and then Alonso P11, I believe. I'm really surprised about Gasly.
We bet with Bluebet, the true blue Aussie bookie.
It really isn't Gasly's day. That is Tsunoda's like, they've literally, okay, they haven't swapped. They haven't quite swapped. I think that's a bit harsh. Maybe a bit harsh from Gasly. I think he's just having a bit of an off day. But Tsunoda, he finished P5 again there. Tsunoda's on the ball today. He really is. This whole weekend so far, he's looking really good.
It's a story that started with Mum, Dad, my wife and I, now up to its 4th generation.
Right, let's get that
true
going.
Brew that captured the hearts.
That's now updated, so out in Q2, Sebastian Vettel, Antonio Giovinazzi, Lance Stroll, Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso. I think I've got the order right there. I'll be able to check up on that in a minute when it comes back up from the ads. But yeah, wow. The surprise of that one was definitely Gasly. I expected Gasly to get through. He's really not been having a good weekend though, has he? Like, considerably beaten by Tsunoda all weekend. Stroll, Giovinazzi and Vettel, I kind of expected them to go out. Alonso, maybe a little bit unexpected.
This program brought to you by
Yeah.
Heineken 00. Great taste.
I mean, he only just missed out, like just missed out.
And Ladbrokes.
But Gasly, I'm really surprised about Gasly. I actually really am. Wow. Okay.
It's carnage again. Yeah.
So Vettel literally stopped.
Well, welcome back to qualifying here in Abu Dhabi. We wondered what happened to Sebastian Vettel with a double-waved yellow flag. And this, Martin Brundle, was the kerfuffle of all kerfuffles and a gentleman's agreement that no one could agree on.
Well, they're all trying to get on with it. It'd be so easy to trip over another driver there. Fernando Alonso feeling that the McLaren held him up. McLaren was just starting a hot lap there in front of him. Can't imagine that's going to go too much further, but Fernando starts 11th and an angry 11th, but Sebastian Vettel, he was a driver going through a double yellow, and therefore automatically, as much as you lift off the throttle, as much as you take it easy, your lap time is deleted. It's a newer regulation to make sure people don't just keep pushing on through those double wave yellow zones.
Right, who'll be on pole position in Abu Dhabi? Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, somebody else? You get your chance to vote. skysports.com/play. And after that car park confusion, I now
so my prediction
all said stop on the timing
is looking.
Meanwhile, Christian Horner down at Red Bull. Did you want to start on the
okay, I guess. I don't think that Norris is going to get 5th. Honestly, the way this is playing out right now, kind of expecting Tsunoda to be 5th.
We were 50-50
which
going
is
into that session. It forced our
pretty
hand.
big.
We're taking the soft. It's going to be
Not what I would have expected going into this weekend.
Mercedes
But
tomorrow, so we'll see how it plays out.
Why were you going for an extra lap, Christian? Was there a need for that lap?
You can see that it wasn't particularly comfortable with the evolution of circuit. We weren't just sure how much it was going to evolve, so we just wanted to be doubly safe. So yeah, that's why we started the next lap and unfortunately grabbed the front into turn 1.
Sets up a great conundrum though, doesn't it? Can you one-stop tomorrow's race, or is this an aggressive 2-stop? All those options are still available to you.
We believe they still are available to us. Yes, exactly. So, but it might give us a better opportunity on the first lap at the start. We're expecting Mercedes to be fully quick in this third sector of qualifying. So, strategically to do something different, to be on a different tyre. That gives us, other strategic opportunities in the race.
So how long is Q3?
Christian, thanks ever so much.
Is it
Best
12
of luck
minutes?
to you and to everyone at Mercedes as well as you go for pole position. And normally this season it's been a Red Bull or it's been a Mercedes on pole.
Guess we'll find out. Because I think it goes 18, 15, 12. Or 18, 15, 10.
Ted Kravitz, we are 30 seconds away from what could be the most important pole shootout of the season.
Yeah, can't wait. And everybody piles out again together. They just want to get together, don't they, on those last few corners and get in everyone's
So I'm going to start
way.
it
For
12.
lane, as you can see, not a
But it may be 10.
By the way, Yuki
And I may have to change it.
through on the medium tyre. Yeah. Isn't he, Crofty? So well done, Yuki. Great shout from him. Great job. P8 in Q2 on the medium tyre, slower than the soft. So good job from him. But I'm slightly confused with
okay, I got the time right. It was 12 minutes.
It's not a bad way
Whew.
to go. When did that happen, Crofty?
Good.
It's always been a one-stop round here. It's 23 seconds you lose in a pit stop, and it's still pretty difficult to overtake round here. So I'll have to go back and check my notes as to whether when 2 stops has ever been a good strategy around this circuit.
Well, when 2 become 1, Ted?
Ah, very good.
It's the last Spice Girls song I mentioned for this weekend. Right, here we go then, Martin. 9 poles for Verstappen so far this season.
Q3.
Make sure we're not holding Max up. Just get on with things. Get on with things. Don't hold Max up.
5 poles for Lewis Hamilton, 3 poles for Valtteri Bottas. Perez with a front row start in Imola. If you were on Sky
So I'm guessing here they're going to try and give Verstappen a toe for his quickest lap.
But I think an ace lap,
because Perez is out in front of Verstappen. I reckon he's going to try and give him a toe.
we saw it was 4 thousandths in it, wasn't it?
See floor, let Max do his thing and let him catch us up in sector 3.
Let him catch us up in sector 3.
Max do his thing and let him catch us up. Is this Sergio Perez giving Max Verstappen something of a slipstream and a toe here?
Quite possibly. So let Max warm the tyres up as he needs, and then let him catch you up. You're right. He'll hurt a bit if he's too close through turn 1 and a little bit through turn 5, and then we'll get a slipstream effect down the 2 straights plus the DRS. So is this team play? It looks like it, doesn't it? Because he's not too far behind now.
And also, the 2 Mercedes cars are pretty much the same distance apart as Perez and Verstappen. Might be a double team play here.
Hamilton's in front of Bottas.
Good point. In the other.
Yeah, Hamilton's in front of Bottas, so that's interesting.
So Verstappen starts then his first flying lap in this Q3 section.
So Verstappen fairly close to Perez.
Maybe they'll employ the toe if Red Bull are trying to do that themselves. Mercedes drivers get the choice, don't they?
He will get somewhat of a toe, I reckon, down the straight.
Want to come out first or come out second? Verstappen has come out flying.
I reckon Hamilton's going to get a better first sector here, just because Verstappen's been a little bit in the dirty air.
DRS wide open, middle of the track.
But he's going to have a good toe down the straights here.
Turns 6 and 7, there it is. Ease the nose in. Does it change direction nicely? Will it handle the
So Hamilton quickest in the first sector.
Yes, it does.
Verstappen's really catching Perez.
In the first sector.
So they don't need the toe, maybe, down at Mercedes. 17-0.
There you go, Perez backs out of it. Lets Verstappen through.
Perez pulled out of the way there. Did slipstream Verstappen down the straight towards turn 9.
Okay, this could get very interesting.
Middle sector, they've been losing time to Mercedes in the middle sector. Maybe that's where they needed it the most then. Verstappen with 3 more corners.
Now Verstappen's got plenty of fresh air in the third sector to go flying around.
He's 2 tenths up on Hamilton through the middle sector. Verstappen crosses the line. 122.1. Is that good enough to take provisional pole?
That's
we'll find out
122.1 for Verstappen.
Max Verstappen. So it's all on Lewis Hamilton now through the final sector. Verstappen's been always
what can Lewis do in this final sector here?
For this final few corners. Let's see what Lewis Hamilton's got in reply.
Sonoda ahead of Norris. Here comes Hamilton.
He's not 22.6.
Second fastest. It's front row. And half a second between Verstappen
half a second difference.
The team game at Red Bull has worked on the first flying laps.
Pretty sure Mercedes are going to do the same thing though. They're going to come in for their next flying lap. Surely they're going to let Bottas just go ahead, give him the slipstream.
To Max Verstappen, that's a cracking lap, a 22.1. That's 7 tenths quicker than he did in Q2, for example. Lewis is 5 tenths quicker than he was in Q2. So what will Mercedes do now? Will they choose to follow that concept and sacrifice a Bottas lap? Look at Sonoda up there in 3rd place.
Trouble is, if they sacrifice a Bottas lap, he is going to start, best maybe 4th, possibly 5th, if Perez can get a decent lap in where he doesn't have to move to one side and might not be in the game to help out during the race necessarily. This
is going to get interesting.
A pretty bold move by Red Bull, and you've got to say it has come off to a very great effect.
All right, Perez, I think. Perez goes 3rd.
So Bottas now down to 5th. Perez did his job for the team and has now put his Red Bull on the 2nd row.
Yeah, really smart play there from Red Bull, wasn't it? So basically, Sergio's charged his battery up.
I think they're going to sacrifice Bottas.
Second lap, and so he didn't really sacrifice too much in that respect.
Sonoda's time's been deleted.
A, what a great lap it was.
That's unfortunate.
Max, and B, a handy slipstream as well down the 2 long straights.
Wow. In a season full of twists and turns, here's a Saturday night surprise from Red Bull that has left Mercedes half a second adrift. And I don't know if you saw the faces on the pit wall or in the garage at Mercedes, Ted Kravitz, but they looked a little bit stunned and shocked.
Well, you know, Alpine go on about L-Plan. Mercedes are going to have to come up with L-Plan to either do this to Lewis Hamilton with Valtteri Bottas, because it works so perfectly, because Max towed Checo on that 2nd run. Crofty, I don't know if you saw that on your pictures. He was being told by Max was being told by his engineer how to tow
This
Checo
is gonna
to
get
return the
interesting.
compliment while Max was on his in-lap and Checo was going on his fast lap. So yeah, lovely work. Let's see if Mercedes
Ocon splitting the 2
way
McLarens
do
at
it.
the moment, also in P8.
Carlos Sainz just coming
He's doing
into
a pretty
the
good job.
in front of me, leading Charles Leclerc at the moment by a 10th. Let's see if Leclerc has got anything in return. Good pace there from Ferrari.
Tired now. It is almost 12:30.
Ferrari Ferrari battle
in the
so
morning.
far this season. Closest one on track coming into this qualifying was Alonso Ocon at Alpine, 10-11 in Ocon's favour. He's won the qualifying battle 12-10. Yuki Tsunoda has had his lap time deleted, so what was a potential best ever start in Formula 1 for Yuki Tsunoda now needs to be repeated because he's got no time.
Okay, it looked like he went quite wide
into the hairpin.
into the hairpin there.
And of course, as soon as the tyre's not rotating fully, you lose grip. You can see how hot the brake discs are there on the front. And yeah, you just walk past the apex.
Red Bull screwed me over.
Yep, okay, understood.
Got way too close to me. Yeah, you could easily got in my way in the slowest part of the circuit.
Doesn't seem fair to me.
Well, that is a conversation between Lando Norris and his race engineer Will Joseph, as much for the steward's attention and race control's attention.
Almost
as it
8.
is,
Love to travel to Australia. I'm originally from England, live in Australia now, lived here for quite a few years now, but
if I'm honest, but
yeah, it's a very nice place.
Out of the last corner, as did Pierre Gasly.
It's just not the greatest times for watching F1 races, unfortunately.
Just like you need to do if you hit some ice or something on a slippery patch on the road. Walked him across the line.
Who will be on pole in Abu Dhabi? Lewis Hamilton was 60%, now just underneath. Max Verstappen attracting a few more votes. It's a live poll. You can continue to vote away. The timings have Max Verstappen by half a second.
Whew. Take some catching.
Perez ahead of Bottas, Sainz ahead of Leclerc, Norris ahead of Ocon, and Ricciardo ahead of Tsunoda.
Alrighty.
Who had his lap time
Here we
deleted.
go again.
Ted, down to you again.
Just seeing how Ocon actually got through into that session. Fernando Alonso still fuming apparently coming out the back of the garage. Felt he'd been held up, but Esteban Ocon kept a cool head, just waiting to see him out of the Alpine garage, and he's got out ahead of the McLaren of Lando Norris as well. So the Ferrari's the last. Just seeing the Mercedes. They are out on track together, the Mercedes as well, Crofty. Let's keep an eye on whether they manage to do a tow. Bottas to help Hamilton. We'll see.
Yeah, Hamilton out
Surely they're going to do a tow.
Though, but you need to get out early to get this done, otherwise you get caught up in all of
Bottas is probably going to be screwed over,
at the back. So,
because if he does give Hamilton a tow, I think it's quite likely that Bottas will plummet down the order, but because he's not going to have time to do a lap for himself.
And there is Sergio Perez getting out of the way, and Max really getting down nicely into the apex. So there's the slipstream then, pulls him along, punches a hole, a Red Bull size hole in the air, and then leaves the way absolutely clear.
Very smart stuff from Red Bull.
Well, didn't it work well? And it was Sergio Perez that Lando Norris claimed got in his way towards the end of Norris's flying lap. By the way, at the end of Q2, we saw the kerfuffle. That will be investigated after the session by the stewards, who might be in for a lengthy night.
Hamilton is ahead of Bottas again.
Remains ahead of Bottas then. So maybe we've often heard Lewis like, just give me clear space. I don't want to mess about with slipstreams. Maybe that's what he's saying at the moment, if they stay that way. But Perez is ahead of Verstappen. But
he's not going to get pole. He's not going to get pole if he doesn't get a slipstream. Surely. Surely he can't make up 5/10. Hello, Baron. Welcome to the stream. Last minute 45 to go of Q3. See what's going to happen here. I want to see where Tsunoda's going to end up, because his lap time got deleted, but he's looking mighty quick.
We're in to the final shootout for pole position here.
Tremendous exit from the first corner for Lewis.
Oh, he's a little bit down. Lewis is a little bit down.
Apex hit this time. Remember, he locked up in there before. Down the first of the long straight.
Down the long straight now for Hamilton.
And technical turn 6
and the Mercedes has got that. Seems to have that engine advantage, that straight line speed advantage, but yeah, just with the toe that Verstappen got, I just don't think he's going to be able to. I mean, let's see. Where's he going to be after this?
And he can pour the car into turn 9.
Okay, he's had a good middle sector.
for the end of the lap.
If he has, he needs to absolutely ace this final sector because he's lacking by about 1/10 of a second any time to beat Max Verstappen, who's out on track.
Okay,
and you can see him
this
there.
could be quite close actually.
Being displayed by all the drivers. The track is ramping up. It's
Alright, here we go. Hamilton's coming across the line.
Hamilton, 5-time pole sitter here at Yas Marina, crosses the line.
He doesn't do it. Hamilton is not on pole position. Verstappen, he's going quicker. Okay, Sonoda only P6, so still good from him, but I was kind of hoping for more.
Can Perez get his Red Bull ahead of Hamilton? Make it an all Red Bull front row. They're absolutely equal in the first 2 sectors.
Norris goes P3.
Perez hasn't been on the front row since
Perez goes P4.
Fastest only for Perez, second row for him. Max Verstappen crosses the line, didn't need to go faster, actually got it all done.
There we go.
He's on pole, and with the championship
Max Verstappen goes pole position for the last race of the season.
He'll have the 8 meters advantage on the line. This is a big advantage tonight on Saturday for Max Verstappen.
Well played, Red Bull. So
That was a very good play by Red Bull. Bit of a questionable one by Mercedes, because Bottas didn't end up giving Hamilton a tow. Hamilton could not go quicker than Verstappen, and Bottas ended up P6 anyway. So that's a bit of an interesting one for Mercedes there.
You can hear how delighted he is. Mercedes, did they miss a trick?
There you go. It's a good run for Verstappen.
And they did it to perfection tonight.
It's all tomorrow that's gonna. Tomorrow's where it all counts, though.
We remember that weekend, 1-2, wasn't it? For McLaren, what a finish that was.
Lando Norris P3, very good run from him. So my guess was a bit wrong. I mean, it wasn't massively wrong. Did I put Norris? I did put Norris in P5. So I put him in the top 5.
But that's all outside.
It's a good one
the
from
top
Norris.
3. And well, we started off by saying it's only 8 meters between pole and the guy in second, Martin Brundle. But when the pole sitter's on the soft tyre and the guy in second's on the medium tyre, that advantage might be a bit more than 8 meters.
This could be exciting.
A good run through the first sector, but
I'm looking forward to this race tomorrow.
I think it was clear from Christian they would have preferred to start on the mediums, but it wasn't that cut and dried, and it's not a disaster to be starting on the soft compound tyres, but he's going to have to, well, let's see how it plays out, with any incidents, how far they can get on the soft tyre. But that is
Max is happy.
Poised, isn't it? Yeah.
Of course he is.
Contenders yet again on the front row of the grid, one of them on the soft tyres in pole, the other on the medium tyres in second. Wow, how would you second guess that?
If you ever watch the Derby and there are 2 thoroughbreds in the field, head and shoulders above the rest, and one's an absolute flyer out of the stalls and the other one bides its time to come through in the final.
Alrighty, this is going to set up a pretty exciting race, I reckon. I'm excited for this race.
Don't miss it. We're on air from 11:30 in the UK. Lights out at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's really going to be a game of what's going to happen with tyres here, because Verstappen's starting on the softs, Hamilton's starting on the mediums. I'm not sure what Norris is starting on. Is he starting on the softs? Because if Norris is starting on the softs, he could give Hamilton a bit of trouble into turn 1, maybe. That would be exciting. I'm not going to lie, I don't really mind who wins, but as much as Max has really, you know, these last couple of races he's been I think a little bit desperate almost. you know, Saudi Arabia especially, I think he pushed the boundaries far too much. But I mean, he's had so much unluckiness throughout the year, you know, with you know, like Baku and, I mean, Silverstone, which I personally think was more Hamilton's fault. Without those, and I mean Hungary, which was out of his control. Without them, Hamilton would have won the championship by now. Not Hamilton, Verstappen would have won that championship by now. Although, I do think these last couple of races he's been a little bit too, he's gone a bit too far. But I think if I had to choose who I want to win the championship, I probably would go with Verstappen just because I want to see a new world champion. So, yeah. Still, Hamilton getting number 8 would be big, but I think I'd rather have Max win it, personally. I just want a good race tomorrow, to be honest.
Happy with this. I mean, this is of course what we wanted, but it's never easy, especially with their form the last few races. But yeah, now I'm just looking forward to tomorrow, because that's of course the most important.
Well, of course, that's where the points are tomorrow. We have conflicting.
Okay, Norris is on the softs. Norris on the softs. Okay. Okay. Who's Norris? Who's Norris with? I mean, he seems like pretty good friends with Verstappen. So can Norris have an interesting? I can't believe Tsunoda got through on the mediums as well. That's crazy. He's gonna. I think he's gonna get screwed over at the start, but Tsunoda could be on for a pretty good race.
But you must feel a little bit of weight lifted from your shoulders with that qualifying result.
But yeah, can Norris do something with Hamilton into turn 1? Will he try and go for a move on him, or will he just leave it? I don't know. I really don't know. That could be championship deciding what happens there. Wow, okay. I think I'm going to leave it there. We've got the post-race, the post-qualifying interviews right now, but I don't think I'll stick around too much to watch those. I'll stick around to watch the end of them, I guess. So I'll finish the stream after we watch these, but yeah. Bottas 6th on the mediums. It's not really worked out for Bottas.
Well, firstly, Max did a great lap today, so yeah, we just compete with that time at the end there. But it was looking really strong through practice. Firstly, we got a great crowd here, regardless of the booze. But I'm just grateful to see people here healthy. Yeah, we couldn't answer to that lap. That was a fantastic lap from him. So we'll.
Hamilton's getting the booze again. I do think that is stupid.
We can have a good race.
There's plenty of you know, good screams in there as well, but I don't like the booze. I just really don't like it. It's really unsportsmanlike. I just hate it, to be honest.
How do we throw this forward to the all-important Grand Prix?
Yeah, well, I mean, as you saw, the first lap dropped a little bit of time in the last in the turn 5, but the last lap was nice and clean. I just couldn't go any quicker. So I don't know if it's tire prep or whatever it may be in terms of the outlap, but nonetheless, I couldn't beat that time that he did today. He fully deserved the pole.
We just heard from Max saying he's super relaxed ahead of qualifying. He must be elated because you know the importance of pole. You've done this a lot of times before. You're a 7-time world champion. A little bit of disappointment, or it's all throwing forward now to the opportunity?
No, I'm still in the front row. We've got the difference, obviously, between the tyres, but I'm grateful I can see where he is, and then we can try and navigate from there.
Nice touch.
See where he is, in other words. He's not starting behind me, so I can see what he does. He's not going to take me out into turn 1 from behind. Basically what he was going at there. Lando Norris.
I don't know, really. I mean, it came already in Q3, run 1. I made some improvements, but also a few mistakes, and I just did a clean lap in the end. So I went for pole, didn't quite work out. I was still a little bit off. But no, it was a nice lap to be P3. It was a bit of a surprise.
Now, it won't be lost on you as you celebrate this strong end to the season for McLaren. You've got one of the best seats in the house on the run down to the first corner for this championship battle.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous because I kind of want to just stay where I am and just watch everything unfold over the first few laps, or even the whole race. But I also don't want to really get involved too much because it can cause a lot of controversy. So I don't know whether to go for the move, not go for the move. You tell me. But I'll do my best.
Go for the move, Norris. Go for it, Lando.
Great lap, great way to finish your last qualifying of the year. Good luck for tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Cheers, everyone.
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna finish the stream there, so thank you everybody for coming and watching. For my first stream, I haven't filled in the things, have I? Oh well, I haven't filled in the things, but I don't have them up on me now, so they will not be filled in for the top 10, but you knew where it was. Can I remember off the top of my head? Let's see if I can remember off the top of my head. So let me just get them all sorted. To do this, so if I can run myself through it, I might be able to figure it out without actually looking. So P1 Verstappen. So I did it correct by going for oh no, I predicted Hamilton was going to get pole. Never mind. Never mind. I think I did originally have it that Verstappen was going to get pole, but I changed it to Hamilton. I should have stuck with what I had. Hamilton second, Norris third, great for him. Perez fourth, so I got that right. Fifth, I think was Sainz, wasn't it? Sixth was Bottas. Not so good from him. Seventh was Leclerc. Eighth, I'm pretty sure, was Tsunoda. And then it was Ocon and Ricciardo, but I'm not sure which way round they were. I'd like to hope that Ricciardo was 9th, considering Norris was 3rd. Can I find it? Maybe I can go on Twitter. Maybe Twitter will tell me. Twitter. Can you tell me the results, please? Ocon Ricciardo. Wow. Ocon beat... Okay, Ricciardo P10. Don't think that's what he would have wanted, considering his teammates in P3. Ricciardo. Yeah, that is spelled correctly. Alright, I'll save that. And that should now pop up on the screen in a second. There we go. And we'll just leave the done there because it is now done. And that's it. So starting grid for tomorrow, unless there's any grid penalties or anything. Verstappen, Hamilton, Norris, Perez, Sainz, Bottas, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricciardo is the top 10. And then the bottom 10, Alonso, Gasly, Stroll, Giovinazzi, Vettel, Latifi, Russell, Raikkonen, Schumacher, and Mazepin. So, interesting. Very interesting going into the race tomorrow. I'm really excited to see what it's going to be like. I think Verstappen's going to have a pretty cruisy early lead, but it's going to get interesting when the pit stops come in. So yeah, I'm excited for the race, and I don't really know what I'm doing live stream wise. Whether I will do a live stream for the race, I'm not too sure, because it's a bit difficult to do a live stream for I can't like have the nice visuals like this for a race, really. So yeah, may not do a live stream for the race, but I'll figure that out tomorrow. If there's a live stream, there's a live stream. If there's not, then there's not. But definitely for next year, I'll definitely be doing qualifying live streams for next year, because it's been a lot of fun. It's been interesting, and yeah, it's been a good session as well. So very excited for the race tomorrow. So yeah, thanks for sticking around to everybody that was here. See you guys later.